हाणे असां अॻिते हलूं था ऐं असांजो जो की निशस्त जो आख़िरी जेको आहे मक़ालो अंग्रेज़नि जूं सिंधी ॿोलीअ बाबति कयल ख़िदमतूं हिकु नए दौर जो आगाज़, छाकाणि त उन्हनि अंग्रेज़नि जे सिंध ते अख़्तियारी सां हिकिड़े सिंधी ॿोली अदब जे हवाले सां नई शुरूआत थी। सो मां गुज़ारिश कंदुसि डॉक्टर हुमेरा नाज़ साहिबा खे त अचनि ऐं पंहिंजो पेपर पेश कनि। तव्हांजी भरपूर ताड़ियुनि में।
बहुत शुक्रिया। गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। एंड आई एम द लास्ट स्पीकर ऑफ द लास्ट सेशन। और आखिर में आने का एक ड्रॉबैक ये होता है कि सुनने वालों का भी पेशेंस ख़त्म हो चुका होता है और तकरीबन तमाम चीज़ें जो हैं वो डिस्कस हो चुकी होती हैं, तो एक जिद्दत और नुदरत जो है वो इतना ज़्यादा मौज़ूआत में नहीं रहती। बहरहाल मेरा जो गुफ्तगू का मौजू है वो ये है कि बरतानवी दौर में सिंधी को सरकारी ज़बान बनाने में जो है वो ब्रिटिशर्स का क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन है, और ना सिर्फ सरकारी ज़बान बनाने की बात है बल्कि मुख्तलिफ डायनामिक्स में उन्होंने सिंधी को प्रमोट करने के लिए जो भी कोशिशें की उनको ब्रीफली मैं कोशिश करूँगी कि बताऊँ। बहरहाल जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं कि 8th सेंचुरी से 8वीं सदी से जब अरब इन्वेजन हुआ सिंध का, तो सिंधी को पस मंज़र में जो है कर दिया गया। अरब जो हुक्मरान थे उन्होंने अरबी को सरकारी ज़बान बनाया और उसके बाद फिर तुर्क आए, उन्होंने फ़ारसी को जो है, चूँकि वो पर्शियनाइज्ड टर्क्स थे तो उन्होंने फ़ारसी ज़बान जो है वो यहाँ पे राइज की। उसके बाद हम देखते हैं कि सोमरा और सम्मा दौर में हमें किसी हद तक सिंधी ज़बान का एक रिवाइवल नज़र आता है, लेकिन उसमें हमें कोई तहरीरी लिटरेचर जो है वो हमें सिंधी ज़बान में नज़र नहीं आता। जो कुछ भी है था वो ओरल जो है हमें उसके रिकॉर्ड्स मिलते हैं। उसके बाद फिर दोबारा जो है अरगूंस, तरखान्स और फिर मुग़ल्स, ये फिर जो है वो सेंट्रल एशियन डायनेस्टीज़ थीं जो आई सिंध में और उन्होंने अपना तसल्लुत जो है वो यहाँ पे कायम किया। इन्होंने भी फ़ारसी को जो है वो सरकारी ज़बान बनाया और बहुत मशहूर मक़ूला है सिंध में, कहा जाता था कि फ़ारसी पढ़े घोड़ी चढ़े। तो फ़ारसी जो है वो ज़बान कामयाबी की ज़मानत समझी जाती थी। कुछ ऐसा ही स्टेटस हमें आज अंग्रेज़ी का नज़र आता है पाकिस्तान में। बहरहाल उसके बाद जब कलहोड़ा दौर शुरू हुआ तो दोबारा, चूँकि कलहोड़ा एक नेटिव डायनेस्टी थी और यहाँ दोबारा जो है वो उन्होंने सिंधी ज़बान को तरक्की और तरवीज के लिए काफ़ी काम हुआ। और हम इसको, कुछ लोग इसको सिंधी ज़बान के गोल्डन पीरियड से भी जो है वो करते हैं, डिनोट करते हैं। बहरहाल उसके बाद तालपुर और फिर अंग्रेज़ जो हैं वो आए यहाँ पे, और उसके बाद उन्होंने जो है सबसे, अब जब यहाँ हुकूमत सेटअप करने लगे तो पहला मामला तो ये था कि सरकारी ज़बान, उन्होंने पूरे हिंदुस्तान में ही हम देखते हैं कि उन्होंने मकामी ज़बानों की जो है वो तरवीज शुरू की और अंग्रेज़ी के साथ जो रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस थी उनको उन्होंने सरकारी ज़बान के तौर पे राइज करना शुरू किया। उसकी मुख्तलिफ वजूहात थी। एक तो ये कि वो चूँकि मुसलमानों से उन्होंने हुकूमत ली थी और फ़ारसी जो थी वो मुसलमानों की ग्लोरिफिकेशन का एक सिंबल थी एक तरह से, तो वो किसी हद तक जाहिर है उसको रिप्लेस करना। दूसरा, यूरोप में भी हम देखते हैं कि 16th सेंचुरी में नेशनलिज्म का जो एक कॉन्सेप्ट उभरा और लैटिन ज़बान जो है उसको रिप्लेस किया जो वहाँ की यूरोप की मकामी ज़बानें थी, तो उस चीज़ को उन्होंने यहाँ भी राइज करने की कोशिश की। सिंध में भी हमें ये चीज़ नज़र आती है कि साइमल्टेनियसली इंग्लिश एंड पर्शियन बोथ वर implemented as the official languages of सिंध। अब सिंधी ज़बान इतनी बात हुई, बहुत ज़्यादा बात हो चुकी है अल्फ़ाबेट्स पे, किस तरह स्क्रिप्ट जो है वो राइज किया गया, क्योंकि सिंधी ज़बान जो है वो बोलने में तो यकसां थी लेकिन तहरीर के लिए उसके स्क्रिप्ट्स जो हैं वो मुख्तलिफ थे। ये सब काफ़ी हो चुकी बातें। बहरहाल मुख्तलिफ डायलेक्ट्स थे सिंध में जो सिंध के मुख्तलिफ इलाकों में बोले जाते थे। यू कैन सी ओवर हेयर सिंधी डायलेक्ट्स एंड डिफरेंट वराइटीज़ इन डिफरेंट रीजन्स ऑफ सिंध। सिंध was spoken with different dialects. Now the issue, it was the basic issue when the script was decided, which script would be adopted. So because Muslims were in the majority in Sindh and there were different opinions about the script. However, previously Sindhi was written into a number of scripts. We have previously discussed about Arabic, Devnagari, Khojki, Khudawadi. There were so many scripts. Here you can see different script in which Sindhi was usually written. The task was given to people, Captain George Stake and Captain Richard Burton. These were the people who came to Sindh as the military men and for the fighting in the Anglo-Russian War. But both of these people were very much interested and expert of different Oriental languages. Richard Burton was well versed into too many different languages, Oriental languages, including Arabic, Persian, Sindhi, Punjabi, Pashto, Marathi, and so on. He was an explorer, while George Stake, he was a linguist and he was expert of different languages. So both of these people were of different opinion. As we know, Richard Burton, he supported that that Sindhi should be written in Arabic script, while Stake was of the opinion that Sindhi should be written in Devnagari script. So this was the basic point of difference between these of two. So Stake preferred Khudawadi to the Persian because in his opinion that Sindhi was more closer to Khudawadi than Arabic script. However, it is usually believed that these two scripts were the Muslim script and the Hindu scripts. However, it was decided that Arabic script would be the official script of Sindhi. This is Richard Burton who finally decided, whose opinion was finally decided. So but Richard Burton's objection to Devanagari alphabet were therefore first that it was not well suited to the Sindhi language that had many Arabic and Persian words. Secondly, that though well adapted for literary purposes, it would be tedious and cumbersome for official papers. Secondly, it is generally believed that Burton was a great admirer of Shah Abdul Latif Bhattai, and because of the poetry of Bhattai was composed in Arabic script, that's why he supported Arabic script for Sindhi as the official language. So, however, there were too many arguments. Burton removed most of the contending alphabet and he processed to examine the claims of the Arabic alphabets. He supported the case for Arabic with well-responded argument. Finally, Arabic script for Sindh was officially declared in 1853 on a trial basis. Later on, in 1857, declaring Sindhi as the official language alongside English, status of Sindhi as the official language held both in education and literature. Actually, not only the language, the Britishers, they introduced the whole modern education policy in Sindh. They opened up a number of schools in different districts of Sindh, English medium schools as well as Sindhi medium school. Besides these schools, their main purpose was, as in the previous session it was discussed, that they wanted to create a working class to carry out official work as clerks and officers. Secondly, they wanted to introduce Western education system in Sindh and in other parts of India as well. That's why modern education system was introduced over here and a modern education policy was formulated. Not only the educational institutions and the language, they also introduced printing press for books in Sindhi, publication of the books in Sindhi. The very first time Sindhi newspaper was printed during the British period. For this reason, printing press was imported from Germany. Grammar, another issue was to set up grammar for the language, because previously no effort was made in this regard. So Istek was the person who compiled a number of books for English grammar. So the first major contribution of the British towards Sindhi language was by Sir Ernest Trump. He had a Sindhi typeset especially made in Germany for use in Sindhi printing. This led to the printing of the first ever publication of Shahjo Risalo from Leipzig, Germany in 1866 in the newly formed official Arabic Sindhi script. So the book was published as a series on Sindhi literature with the permission of Indian government and with the help of Sir Bartle Frere, who was the governor of Bombay Presidency. Subsequently, later on, in the preface of his 738-page book, Sir Ernest writes, I quote, there is room for improvement in Sindhi script. Hindustani mean Urdu is taught in Indian missionary schools, and they can also learn Sindhi with just the addition of few dots here and there, unquote. George Short compiled another dictionary from English to Sindhi. Another Britisher, Mr. Beams, then worked on a book titled Comparative Grammar of Modern Aryan Languages in India between 1872 to 1879, and he provided sufficient space to the Sindhi language. Few years later, in 1884, Mr. Seymour from Karachi, he published another book that was titled as A Grammar of the Sindhi Language. So these books were published. One of the more precious work by the British was the book Shabdul Latif of Bhit, his poetry, Life and Times, which was written by H.T. Sodley, and it was published in 1938. It is a thesis written of doctorate at Oxford University Press, London. Sodley described Sindhi people in his book's preface, and he says, I quote, I dedicate it gratefully to the people of Sindh with whom I have lived during the years. I have been treated with an unprecedented generosity. If my work helps scholars outside Sindh to obtain some idea of the true thought and feeling of the people who dwell in the lower Indus Valley, I shall believe myself to be more than handsomely repaid for all my labor, unquote. He also published another book under the title Musa Parvegans, in which he has compared the mystic poetry of different languages such as Greek, Latin, Chinese, French, Arabic, Urdu, and Sindhi poets, and he concluded that none of these poets is comparable to Shabdul Latif Bhitai. He explained with total humility. However, whatever was the objective behind introducing indigenous languages in India, definitely we cannot overlook the contribution that the British made in order to develop and progress native languages. Thank you so much.